We have flown from the Bob Hope Airport in Burbank, California, to Sonoma County Airport in Santa Rosa, California.
Yeah, I knew all that.
Well, of course you knew that. This is me starting the podcast.
Oh, got it. So we must be here for the annual tree lighting in Healdsburg. I think we got to make a U-turn.
No, that's not why we're here.
Well, then we must be here for the Geyserville Lighted Tractor Parade.
We're not. Nope. We're up in Sonoma to try some sparkling wine for the holidays. You knew that.
Yeah, that was for the podcast. Let's go inside Trader Joe's.
I gotta pay attention to the road because I missed an exit. We're out of the rental car. We arrived at our destination, which is visiting a longtime trusted wine-making partner up here in the Sonoma Valley.
And not to rub it in, but the road trip did involve bucolic rolling vineyard hills.
It did.
So it was a pretty nice drive.
Thank you for coming and visiting us today in this beautiful valley.
I'm Tara Miller, Director of Words and Phrases and Clauses.
And I'm Matt Sloan, the Culture and Innovation Guy at Trader Joe's.
Would the two of you, our guests, please introduce yourselves?
Hello, my name is Jen. I'm a winemaker.
Fantastic.
My name is Mark. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer and General Manager of the winery. And we have an amazing team here and amazing customers like you all.
And I think the thing that's fun is that maybe you can pick up in the background, like there's the sounds of production, because we're at a place that makes stuff, which is always fun.
So Sarah, who's our VP of Marketing, has listened to every single one of your podcasts.
Oh my gosh.
She really needs to get out.
She is a superhero.
She is so disappointed that she could not be here today.
Oh, I thought you were so disappointed in the show. And I'm like, why does she keep listening?
She keeps hoping it gets better.
Yeah. She's a masochist.
We have somebody else here with us today.
Hi, I'm James. I'm the category manager for wine, beer, and spirits at Trader Joe's.
If you've listened to this podcast, you're familiar with James.
James, it's so cool that you could swing by here up in the Sonoma area. So what are you doing?
He's sitting here with us, Matt.
It's a great opportunity to be here with you and this winery partner. It's also a very important area for sourcing and opportunity to see some other wineries.
So you're like knocking on doors, like, do you have any wine?
It's a little more organized than that.
Do you have any wine? Next
You can
house.
see I would not last very long in that role. Like, there's this weird guy, he won't go away.
He's asking for wine. Yes,
Whole other podcast.
it's a whole other podcast.
And your presence does make this an official gathering of the Trader Joe's Wine Club, so thank you.
Let's call this meeting to order.
Now, next to France for Champagne, or Cremant, or Cava from Spain, or even Prosecco from Italy, there's probably no place in the world better known for sparkling wine than Sonoma.
Right here in California. We're talking about sparkling wine. We're not talking about champagne. Why is that? Why are they not the same?
They are very similar. Champagne is grown in the Champagne region of France. We'll call it sparkling wine here, but we're using the same method champenois to make our sparkling wines, using the same grapes, Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Blanc, Pinot Meunier, to create our styles, which are traditionally the same: Brut, Blanc de Blanc, Blanc de Noir, and Rosé.
That traditional method, the champenois method, that's what separates Champagne from, say, Cremant. Slightly different process,
It's
or
like
just
a zip
different
code
region?
difference.
It's a
different
regional
region.
difference,
Yeah?
correct.
That the Cremant comes from the distinction is just where the grapes are grown and where the wine is made. We're in Sonoma in Northern California, super famous wine country area. Is this region known for those same grapes? Is that why this is kind of the place to make sparkling wine?
Absolutely.
Is there a climate or a soil or like an overall terroir situation here that leads it to be the place to grow those kinds of grapes?
We have very warm days and cool nights, which is conducive to the fruit.
The foggy days, the cool nights, the breezes. In fact, the different microclimates do produce grapes, so we have a variety of different flavors. But we get to blend them all together and make those styles.
We produce from probably 70 different vineyard sources all over Northern California, from Sonoma County, Napa, Mendocino, Southern Sonoma County, Marin, Solano County, Clarksburg area. We specifically go into those regions and look for fruit that's conducive to sparkling wine, having higher acidity and lower pH. From that, we then formulate our wines from over 120 different lots. and then formulate each of those wines individually each year.
You're not making sparkling wine that has the name of your company on it. You're making sparkling wine for others.
Yes.
So the Trader Joe's Reserve Brut and the Trader Joe's Reserve Brut Rosé sparkling wines, those are from where?
The North Coast region.
Those are North Coast.
The North Coast goes from Marin County through Sonoma County, through Mendocino County, Lake County, Napa County.
Like, I look out over the fields that are outside the window right now, and like, it's a mood, right? Like, it's a little bit gray, it's a little bit overcast, it's a little cool.
Like me.
With the warm days, cool nights, there's more even ripening, so the flavors develop earlier, so we can pick at a low sugar level, and there's nice flavors there. If they're ripening very fast, you might get past those sugars, get too high, and then they're like almost like too ripe.
Okay.
So it keeps it, the minerality is there too, which is really
So it sounds like it's balance. If you're starting with 70 vineyard sources that might produce 120 lots of fruit or grapes, you have this incredible array. How hard is it to produce a sparkling wine on a consistent flavor profile basis year to year to year?
For us, we've been purchasing from the same vineyard sources for over 15 years. So vineyards do have a consistency. Now, the blend itself may vary slightly, 5 or 10% in either direction between the Pinot Noir and the Chardonnay. So there is an art to each vintage and those wines. The other thing that we do is we will blend last year's reserve wines into the current vintage to remain consistent with the flavor profiles and also give the wines an aging component to a new wine.
And is that why sparkling wines often don't have a vintage or a year on them?
Yes. The reserve wine specifically adds some bit of complexity and consistency.
And it's funny because here we're talking about reserve wines different from a reserve label. These are wines held in reserve.
One of the other things that we do with our vineyard sources and have done for many years now is we rate them A, B, and C vineyards. The C's need to become B's, the B's need to become A's, and the idea is that we have 80% A's and 20% B's in those C vineyards.
Like if I get a C on my report card, if you will, is it within a grower's control or is it weather driven? How would they make those improvements?
Sometimes it is the year for that C, and we work with them if they're not receptive.
Sure.
They may not be our
But I
grower
mean,
next year.
Right.
it's in your best interest, ultimately our best interest, even more ultimately our customers' best interest that you have all A vineyards.
And we work very closely with our growers. They're very important to us. They're the lifeblood of us producing the fine wines that we do for you folks.
So there's
a partnership.
It is. I mean, none of this happens without the grapes. Working with the growers to help them improve their processes, that seems like a win for everybody.
And it gives the winemaking team the flexibility to adjust where they're sourcing from during the vintage for that year's production to maintain a consistent style for, say, our reserve label North Coast products.
But that's interesting, James. Even though we have this wine, this sparkling wine every year, we taste it, and we taste it against last year's.
So it turns out we are creatures of habit. Okay, which is probably good from a consistency standpoint.
Well, and I think if you're a customer, you know, the last time I bought this, I remember how good it was. I remember that it tasted a certain way. Even though I think everybody understands that wine as a natural product, it's going to have some variation. You kind of want it to taste the way you want it to taste.
We have created a brand for Trader Joe's that needs to be consistent. And we do the same thing. We will taste the prior year's wines while we're making the blends to make sure that there's that consistency there year over year. And then we do send some options to your team to taste those wines and to ensure that they are what is expected of that wine from the prior year.
Jen, how does one become a winemaker? Or even more particularly, how did you become a winemaker?
Well, this is my 22nd harvest. I've been with this company for 11 years, so my sparkling experience did start with this company. The toolbox is already there as far as making wine, because to make sparkling wine, the first step is making base wine, which is just like the white wine process. Great learning curve, a lot of extra processes. You have to make a yeast culture to go into the wine that goes into the bottle for that secondary fermentation and maintain that. Add the sugar in. For method champenois specifically, I'm speaking of. And then finally disgorging, which requires riddling.
What is riddling? It's not the same thing as puzzling.
Matt, I think we need a jargon alert.
We do, and I'm so glad that we have an expert on hand to define riddling.
When it's time to put a label on the wine, put a cork in, the wine was sitting, aging for anywhere from a year, 10 years, 20 years on the yeast lees. And those will be laying on the side of the bottle, and the riddling will take about 3 days. We have a very state-of-the-art facility with many riddlers that will, 3 days, will turn the bottle upside down and take all that yeast into the neck.
So it's sediment, like it's stuff that's fallen out of solution, collected. It's probably not what anyone wants to pour into a glass to make a toast as a cloudy, yeasty concoction. So you get rid of that.
Correct.
Entirely.
Oh, riddling. We're ridding the wine of this stuff, so it's riddling.
I have never thought of that.
My brain works in mysterious ways, Jen.
might use
It's like a crossword clue, maybe.
We're taking a little break from the conversation, are we? So you're gonna hear a lot of noises here, because people are working. People are moving around doing their thing, and machinery is happening.
The whole cage turns.
So this is the Riddler.
This is the Riddler.
Okay, not to be confused with a superhero villain. This is the Riddler.
And look up. That's actually a great view.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a big metal cage filled with bottles that are filled with wine that's going through the riddling process to bring the yeast to the top of the bottle.
From the flat side of the bottle to the top of the neck. Yes.
So the whole cage moves at once?
Yes.
Okay. And little tiny bit at a time
Horizontal, vertical.
over the course of a few days?
Over a few days.
Okay. That's
How much does a cage full of wine weigh?
Well, it's 576 bottles.
Roughly 2,400 pounds.
So there's a ton of wine in each.
Close.
Wow. You don't want that to fall on your toes.
No.
Nope, we're gonna stay back here. That's why there's caution, do not cross.
Exactly.
Riddling is a slow process because you want to ensure that you have all the yeast that gets collected down into the neck of the bottle, and you don't have any what we call floaters. Depending upon the riddling program, there'll be anywhere from 82 to 95 turns within
Full
the 3
turns of
days.
the bottle.
Quarter turns, angle turns, horizontal turns, vertical.
It's like ice skating.
Exactly.
Triple
throughout
axle.
the process. And then they will sit there for periods of time. It could be for 30 minutes, it could be for 3 hours, it could be an hour, and then there'll be another turn. And eventually, the bottle on its side will be serpent, which is neck down, and all the yeast and riddling agent that assists so that the yeast does not hold to the side of the bottle because it's sticky, creates a mudslide effect with the lees, which then goes down into the neck of the bottle and is collected.
It's cool, you can see the leaves sort of sitting
Yeah.
on the side of the bottle here.
It's starting to
Yeah.
move that
Can I take a
direction.
photo? Is that okay?
Absolutely. That looks cool.
Yeah, that looks like something that people don't want in their glass of wine. So you pull it out.
Although it is all natural products.
Yeah, sure.
It's just the yeast.
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's kind of a mudslide effect.
Yeah. I'm always fascinated with how, to me, that's a technological development. And then who thought of it?
Yeah, who figured it
I
out?
don't know.
The whole idea of the traditional method started with monks, right? Weren't there monks who first figured this out, whether intentionally or by accident?
I'm sure over the course of time, different processes have been employed.
This is pretty cool. I love seeing where the magic happens. So thank you for bringing us into this piece of the facility and giving us a little backstage understanding.
You're welcome. The traditional method, it was by hand to riddle. And this would take months. It was every day, and it is difficult. It's carpal tunnel inducing. We have robots on our line that move the bottles around. That's keeping the bottles consistent throughout.
And now you're ready for disgorgement.
How does that disgorgement process happen? Do you freeze it?
Yes.
Okay. I learned something.
The bottles are put into a champagne gel. That is negative 20 degrees Celsius, and that freezes all that sediment that's in the neck.
That's really cool.
It's really
Very
cold.
cold.
Bottles are then flipped up and flipped off with the crown cap, and that ice plug, we call it, with the yeast is taken out.
Once you freeze the neck of the bottle, the pressure inside the bottle is anywhere from 85 to 90 psi. So when it goes through the disgorger and it pops the crown cap off, The pressure inside that bottle forces that frozen plug out of the bottle, which then leaves you with clean wine. Now you're ready to go through and put your dosage or liqueur into the wine, because the wine at that point is completely dry.
And by completely dry, you're talking flavor instead of like powdered wine.
Yeah, it is still wet. It is
Sugar,
still wet.
still liquid. Okay, I'm just trying to keep up, everybody.
It is still wet, but it doesn't have any sugar.
It has
Right.
almost no sugar left in the wine. So then you go through a process of adding,
Because all the yeast ate it, right?
the yeast ate all the sugar, the yeast died off.
This is like elementary, like elementary winemaking.
Remedial riddling with Matt, folks.
We'll talk about dosage. This is adding a wine with sugar added. Not so much to make the wine sweet, as James knows. Our wines at Trader Joe's, they're not sweet, but that does fill in some mouthfeel and some weight to balance all that acidity with the sparkling wine.
And that's very much in keeping, is it not, with that method champenois, right?
Absolutely.
Like that's the traditional sort of finishing touch.
With that innovation, it is dripping just the perfect amount for every bottle.
That consistency is the result of technology.
When we started in 2008 producing sparkling wines, our riddling cycle used to be 5.5 to 7 days. So over the course of the last 15 years, we've worked to reduce that time frame from 5.5 days to 5 days to 4.5 to where we are today, to 3 and 3.5 days. So without having to invest in more riddling capacity, if we can work on that riddling cycle and still get the same result, and we don't have to purchase more equipment,
And at the end of the day, offer a better value
And
to
offer a
us
better value.
and that we can offer to our customers. Everyone's talking about prices, even if it's on a bottle of sparkling wine, which some people might see as a luxury item. It doesn't have to be a luxury item. Like when all of this work goes into maintaining consistency and improving efficiencies at the same time, to still get a great product at the end for a fantastic price.
we've been able to hold the price for Trader Joe's since we started the program in 2012.
Wow, 13 years?
We've produced over 350,000 cases of wine for Trader Joe's in that period and growing.
Mark, I want to check a perception of mine, and the perception is sparkling rosé is more expensive than sparkling brut. Is that true? And if so, like why?
Pinot Noir grapes tend to be more expensive than Chardonnay grapes. In a rosé, typically, you're going to have more Pinot Noir in that blend than you will Chardonnay.
That's a good insight.
I say this all the time when we talk about wine, and I don't mean to diminish the romance of it because I think that's important, but it's also science. It's agriculture. You're talking about pH and you're talking about acidity.
There's a science and then there's an art.
Blending is still romantic.
Yes, okay.
I mean, you really can taste the difference between, Mark said 120 lots. That could be more than 300 tanks of wine. They all have their own little nuances that you want to capture. It's very fun.
22 harvests later, you're still chuckling you're having so much fun. Like, that's great.
This table will be full of samples that the team will taste through over a course of 3 to 5 days.
For one blend, that will take 3 to 5 days.
We were just covering this idea of how you label the sources of the grapes, where the grapes are grown. For still wine, for regular wines, there are some rules about how the labeling works. Do those same rules apply to sparkling wines?
Yes, as far as appellation, or if you were to name the variety, but they do not have regulations on calling it a brut or a Blanc de Noir.
A brut traditionally is a little more Chardonnay than Pinot Noir. A rosé typically is more Pinot Noir. A Blanc de Noir is typically 100% Pinot Noir, and a Blanc de Blanc is typically 100% white fruit or Chardonnay. Could have some Pinot Blanc, some Pinot Gris in there.
Can we get really basic? What does brut designate for a customer?
In one way, referring to the sweetness level of the product, and would typically be at 12 grams or less of residual.
So not sweet, but not super, super dry.
Yeah, it's kind of in that moderate zone, but there is a little range that it could fit into and still be labeled fruit.
You don't think about wine having sugar, but it's like wine is made from fruit, which is mostly sugar.
And I think it can be more clear sometimes if you're tasting side by side the different sweetness levels for comparison. For example, the Brut Nature is essentially like the driest version of sparkling, and there's a zero dosage level. So
Dosage, this thing that's added at the end of sparkling wine, what is in dosage?
Often reserve wine and sugar.
And the sugar is like from the bag of sugar in your pantry or some other kind of sugar, or?
It is from the bag in your pantry.
So it's sugar.
It's
Yes.
sugar. Is that where the bubbles come from? Where are the bubbles coming from?
The yeast eating, like it's a byproduct, I think, right?
Yes, we add sugar to the wine before we put it into bottle with the yeast, and the yeast converts that sugar to alcohol. The sugar in the dosage is added after the aging of the wine. You add yeast, it produces alcohol and the carbon dioxide, which is the bubbles in the bottle.
Americans specifically think about sparkling wine as a real celebratory beverage, but I think more and more people are also enjoying sparkling wine just as a glass of wine and not just for a celebration. What are your favorite things to pair a glass of sparkling wine with?
Everything. Cheese, dessert, chicken, salmon, salad.
What kind of cheese?
I like with a creamy cheese. Well, I guess it depends on what sparkling wine I'm drinking. A brew or an aged brew would be nice. It's like a creamy cheese.
Like a soft ripened cheese, like a brie or something like that?
Yeah, that's nice. Maybe the more Pinot driven, like a Blanc de Noir or something you can hold up to a harder cheese. James?
I definitely agree with your creamy brie with a brew is a classic, and there's a lot of pairings from simple salt on a potato chip or French fries.
Fried chicken, which of the 4 basic styles would you serve with fried chicken?
The classic brute is definitely a good way to go.
Okay.
With fried chicken. Brute rosé maybe opens up some more like seafood pairings as well. I think of crab cakes with brute rosé is a great combination. One that I think can work with different styles, but especially some really crisp, bright, dry sparkling wines is oysters. Fresh oysters is an awesome pairing.
All right, how about you, Mark? What are your favorite things to pair with a glass of sparkling wine?
I would say cheese for sure. Desserts is another great way of finishing your meal with some sparkling wine with your dessert to cleanse your palate.
Like a fruity dessert or a chocolate dessert?
Any of the above would work. I think the fruity desserts go very nice with sparkling wine, maybe a little more so than a chocolate dessert.
Well, I'm going to have to try sparkling wine with cheese now, because I've never done that.
Really?
No, I've never. I'm not a big sparkling wine drinker, but I might just have to shift a little bit.
We need to convert you.
I'm open to that conversion.
I think
open
that
to that
North Coast
conversion.
Brut Rosé will be your point
that
of
my
entry.
gateway?
Yeah, that is just so easy with so many things flavor-wise. It works really, really well with even if you had like your basic Thursday night simple grilled salmon with some vegetables, and then with a glass of that Brut Rosé, it becomes like fantastic Thursday.
Last night, I had a Blanc de Blanc with a grilled chicken sandwich I made. I always have a bottle of bubbles in my fridge. Unbeknownst to most people who think it will go flat overnight, it will not. If you keep it cold, even without a stopper, it will still last for several days in your refrigerator.
That's a really great piece of information, because you can't put the cork back in. But if you have a stopper...
Is it a wine stopper or is it a different stopper?
A sparkling wine stopper.
There's a different version for sparkling wine that has latches that keep the pressure in. And
You open it,
If you
and
don't have one, saran wrap will work too. You'll get a little bubble on the top of it, but it'll work.
That could be the whole reason to have done this podcast.
seriously, did you know that?
I think I experienced it accidentally. Like you have a party and you just have leftover bottles and you put them in the fridge, and the next day you're like, still great. So in serving sparkling wine, I feel like there are written or otherwise closely held rules. Like there's a certain glass that you can only use for sparkling wine. Is that true?
No. Who likes rules?
Well, I mean, I don't.
The flutes are very complementary to sparkling wine. It maintains the bubbles well. That would be my recommendation.
Because you have this like longer distance for the bubbles to travel up, and it just looks elegant, and it actually holds the carbonation differently.
It does.
What I think of as a coupe, or that wider, broader kind of glass, like that's a very 1920s feeling, where you make like the champagne towers with those glasses. Are those acceptable?
Absolutely. They're acceptable. Those bubbles will dissipate quicker.
But it sounds like
In the
what you're saying...
1920s, they were drinking the champagne quickly, so I don't think it was a
Look how
problem.
that turned out.
See?
What you're saying is, whatever glass you want to use is the glass that
Like
you
a
should
mason
use.
jar, you're like, hey, go ahead.
Rules be damned.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the wine. The wines that we sell at Trader Joe's are such a great value enjoy the wine. It's wonderful, but it's not precious.
We have lots of people think that sparkling wine is like only to christen ships or babies.
Sparkling wine, champagne, traditionally has been very elegant and stuffy because it's a wedding, it's an occasion that it's consumed, where today it is an everyday event. Every day should be a celebration.
I'm thinking back to the grilled chicken sandwich that you made. It's just a wonderful meal, and it kind of takes that up a notch.
When I bring a bottle of sparkling wine home, and I'm not going to drink it that day, might drink it in a week, might drink it in a month, do I store it standing up?
Laying down.
The bottles that we sell at Trader Joe's, you could sit them for a while, but they're meant to be consumed. They're not wines that are supposed to be cellared for 20 years and then enjoyed later.
The intention is not to cellar them, but I'm sure this wine would taste delicious in 2 years.
Okay. Well, if I buy a bottle, I'm just going to drink it. And then I might put it back in the fridge with a stopper on top and drink the rest of it another
Or
time.
just some plastic wrap on it.
Or just some plastic wrap. That's mind-blowing to me. I'm going to test it out. How about when you serve the wine? I take it out of my fridge. How long should I leave it out before I serve it?
Do you open it right when you take it out of the fridge, or do you pull it out of the fridge 20 minutes and then open it?
20 minutes, then open it.
And when you open it, do you like the big pop splash show, or you like the stealthily quiet opening?
I'm a stealthily quiet opener.
Okay.
I've noticed you are too, James, when you're opening them in the office.
Yes, how to properly open a sparkling bottle is to do it carefully. You're really holding the top part with the cork and turning the bottom of the bottle, and avoids that dramatic pop and potentially losing the wine that people have worked so carefully to make for us.
That's a great point, right? It's a big show, but you lose the wine, you lose the bubbles.
Yeah, I always wondered that, like with the race car drivers, and
They're
you're
not
just
trying to-
spraying that great stuff. I mean, I hope it's not good.
But that's what they're
Wine.
trying to do. They're trying to create a spectacle as opposed to enjoy a glass of wine.
It just
right?
looks ridiculous.
Yeah, race car drivers. That's
Take a number
They're celebrating.
they're
They're
celebrating.
just not consuming. They're
And-
going to drink their glass of milk after.
because they have to drive.
I think it's time for us to say thank you.
Always a good idea, and we so very much appreciate your time, and not just your time today, but for all the work throughout the year that goes into every single bottle that you make.
That expertise is really meaningful for us, but most importantly, it's really meaningful for our customers.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for being a valued partner.
All right, listen up, Wine Club members.
The Trader Joe's Wine Club recommendations for the holidays of 2025 are
The Trader Joe's Reserve North Coast Brut and Brut Rosé.
We'll hold more meetings of the Trader Joe's Wine Club in 2026.
and many more Inside Trader Joe's episodes to share the stories behind your favorite and soon-to-be favorite Trader Joe's products.
Until then, thanks for listening.
And thanks for listening.
And happy holidays.
It's from Sonoma.